Hello everybody, it's Bryan, and today over the next couple minutes I'm going to talk about the 3 takeaways from start date bias. Start date bias can radically affect our investing equilibrium. And as the name implies, start date bias is the effect of the timing of when you start. Meaning, did you start in January? Did you start in 2002? All of this will have an effect on your short-term results. It will have an effect on the confidence you have or lack of confidence you have in your portfolio, your financial plan, and your financial professional besides you. Okay, let's use some real-world data to show the effect of start date bias. We'll be using an investment program called Evolution and their 40% income, 60% equity portfolio. For this discussion, we'll be using month-by-month rolling returns. What are these? Well, let me give you an example. We're going to be looking at January 2012 performance to January 2013 performance, February 2012 performance to February 2013 performance. You see, for every year, there are 12 different data points. And over a 5-year period, there are 60 different data points. This is much more instructive than simply looking at calendar year performance. When we start to look at the 1-year, month-by-month rolling returns for the Evolution program, which has been in existence for over 14 years, we can really start to see the effect of start date bias. While the average 1-year rate of return experience for a client was a comfortable 7.4%, the variability of the returns making up that average were all over the map. If you started at the most opportune time, you would have received 36.2% in the first 12 months, while if you commenced at the most inopportune time, the 1-year experience would be minus 13.2%. To one client, I'm a genius. To another, I'm bordering on incompetent. Same investment solution, drastically different results in the short run. What is interesting is how the extremes and the averages manifest over time. The 3-year rolling average experience stays about the same as the 1-year number at 7.2%. Remarkably, the extremes narrow. The best performing period drops to 15%, while the weakest rises to minus 2.8%. If we carry on and review the 5-year, 7-year, and 10-year results, we observe that the extremes further narrow while the average stays relatively constant. Now, let's zero in on the 10-year number. Certainly, we'd all like to experience the 9.5% 10-year rate of return figure. The trouble is, we don't have a working crystal ball to tell us when to enter. And if we did, we may need to wait years for that moment to occur. What gives me great confidence is that the poorest 10-year result, which means that you started the program at the worst possible time, still had a positive return of 4.7%, which is not far off the 4 to 5% rate of return assumption I use in most financial plans. The Evolution team aims to deliver a rate of return of 5.8% for people in the Evolution 40% income, 60% equity portfolio. They've been able to accomplish this in 96% of all scenarios for those that hold on the 8 years. Number 1, we cannot predict the markets. We have no idea whether they're going to go up or down in the coming months or even the coming year. As Nick Murray, financial guru, once said, I have no idea where the next 1,000 points are going, up or down. But I have absolute confidence on where the next 10,000 points are going, and that is up. The second takeaway is that it is crucial that we invest according to our time horizon. If the money does not have 5 years to be invested, don't invest it in a 5-year product. I'm thinking about one client here who received a large lump sum payout from their employer. The following year, 12 months later, they would have a large tax bill to pay. What did we do with that tax liability? Well, I'll tell you, we did not invest it. We don't know where the markets are going in the coming year. We let the retirement funds do their thing, but we put this into a GIC because we did not want to stumble on that minus 13%. The third takeaway is that if you are going to compare investments, make sure you are using the same time period. As we've seen in this video, 1 month can have a huge impact on rate of return. Also, don't put too much weight into since inception rate of return figures. They are plagued by start date bias. Imagine you had the greatest investment in the world, but it had started the month before the great financial crisis. Its performance figures would have looked terrible for years, even though you had the best investment in your hands. The investment actions that we embark on together can only be judged in the long run. I get it. This takes faith and fortitude. But I am continually reminded by all of the clients who have stuck with the plan, stuck through 5 years, stuck through 7 years, stuck through 10 years, and have realized their financial objectives. It can be achieved. If you found this video interesting, please click subscribe.